Tell me what you're just saying.
Wow. I just dig this one right here because this is when the boys really, I think they just took off at that point. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
Started playing with the big bands and bringing that punk rock root out. But I tell you, dude, when Casey and Ross get on the mic together like that, like this, that's what's up. That's brotherhood. I miss that shit.
Casey would probably say, Pop, pull it together. Jeez. Don't be such a pussy. Casey, beyond being our son, you're just one cool son of a bitch. Yeah. You really was, excuse my French. But he was a cool cat, and we had a lot of good times, like all fathers and should do, right? I want to tell a little story. I've been, but how long would he go with me? His character. Last Father's Day, he bought me a cold air induction for my Camaro, and he hated that damn Camaro. He hated it. Like the vet hated the Camaro. But Pops, I love you too much not to give you this. It's a cold air induction to make the car just more awesome. So we stalled together in the garage, had a great time doing it. We revved it up and took it for a drive and we're happier in hell. Well, the car came due for smog this year, and before I put it on the car, I said, this is California legal. Pops, come on, sure, hello. Well, during that smog, they said, sorry, so this thing is totally illegal. You can't put this on a car in California. Hey, Casey, what's up? Pops, yeah. Right? Hey, Pops, come on. So, he's just that kind of a cat. And I really want to thank you all for coming today and honoring him. And it shows, you know, I didn't lose a son. I gained a hell of a lot more sons here today.
Wow. I feel the love. With all the love in this room, it's hard to feel sad. My beautiful boy, Casey. Everybody loved Casey. His easy ways, his beautiful smile, his green eyes, his olive skin. He's such a good-looking man. We are so proud of the man that Casey has become, and know he would make a wonderful father. He was very excited. To me, Casey was the most perfect son. Just had a little bad to make him look.
That part can't do. He was gonna put a seat, his old man wasn't gonna put a seat.
You know, Casey, Casey and I were very tight, and we could talk about everything. It was like having a best friend. Casey always made time for me as well as everyone else, and it was important to him, and I love that about my son. Time spent with Casey was more than double the joy most families could ever dream of sharing together, and I will cherish every precious moment. It's hard not to smile when I think of my boy Casey, because there's so many good memories. So having Casey in my thoughts every minute of the day, it's a really good gig. It really is. Oh yeah, I'm gonna miss him, and so are all of you. But know that someday we'll all be together. One day soon. I want to share some memories with you about Casey. One of them being when he was in junior high. His math teacher called me in the morning when I was at work and told me that Casey was very disruptive to the class. And she didn't really like him. I was so brokenhearted because Casey had always been a good student. That very same day, I was after lunch. His science teacher called me and told me what a pleasure it was to have him in his class. That was the kind of kid he was. And I met the math teacher. He was bored. It was just not fun. And, he ended up getting A's in both those classes. I have so many good memories, but we only have so much time. So as you know, Casey Girl is carrying our grandchild. We are so looking forward to becoming grandparents. I know Casey Girl will be a good mother.
Yeah.
And Casey would make a great dad. I've seen you in action, my love, and I know you're going to be one. It's a wonderful thing. We're looking forward to cherishing this little baby. Thank you all for your love and support. And please stay. There's plenty of food, I hope. And thank you. Casey would be so honored. Thank you.
Because I feel like that's probably what Casey would do. Now, I want to thank everybody for coming. It means a lot to my family and all of his friends, which are my family too. Now, me and Casey, I have so many memories together. I mean, just every day on the way to school, you know, watching TV, playing video games, going to his concerts, going after having a beer and talking about life. And it's crazy to think that going forward, I'm not going to have those memories with him, but I know that I'm always going to cherish the ones that I do have with him. And my brother was the most amazing man that I knew, including my dad. would want the best for me, and I'm always going to have them in my heart and my mind, saying, what would Casey want from me? And hopefully, in the direction going, that I make those right choices. And Casey was always the one to tell me to live life to the fullest, and to do what makes you happy. And I want to stay happy for my family and my friends, and honor my brother. And he was such a good role model, and he was such even a good uncle. And to think that I finally get to be an auntie is unbelievable. And Casey, I love you so much, and you're my sibling now. And we love you, Casey. And I'm thinking about you a lot. And I love my family so much. And I'm going to take care of my family as much as I can.
Casey told me, geez, what the hell you wait 10 years to have $1 for? He's cool as hell. How can you have any more than us? So that's just how it went down, that's all. So. We love you, Katie, no doubt about it. You guys are so special to see you together. And I remember being in the Caribbean, looking over, sitting on the beach chair, and looking out and saying, wow, my son, my daughter in the Caribbean, my wife together, priceless, as that says, priceless. So I want all of you to treasure each other, your sons, your daughters, and don't sweat the small stuff, right? It's not worth it. Don't sweat the small stuff. Keep it good, keep it real, keep it together, and keep it love, because you never know, life's so fleeting, things happen like this. So don't leave in that bad moment. Always look with a hug. You always say, Pop, love you, Pops. Love you, Pops. So thanks again, guys. I really appreciate it for my family. Thank you very much.
Virginia, I'm not a public speaker, so I'm going to do my best here. Thank you. I am Michelle. Casey is one of my best friends in my life. We grew up together. We shared a lot of really sincere moments. By saying that, I'd like to share a few stories about Casey that I think really show his character and show who Casey really was as a person. When Casey was younger, Aunt Joanne had the trust in me to send her son to San Francisco to a free Tibet concert when he was 13 years old. All right? And I don't know if you guys know what that's like, but it's a rage. It was insane. And Casey, I treated him like my brother. And we started off the event by having just a great time and going to see all the bands that he wanted to see. And finally, it came to the Beastie Boys. There was the biggest mosh pit I think I've ever seen in my life. And I was like, Casey, it's your rite of passage, let's do this. I was scared for my life. To be honest, I was scared for my life. We pounded for probably 30 minutes in this mosh pit. We came out bloody, and we came out worn and torn. And I looked at Casey and I'm like, oh my God, we just do that. He said that. So, Uncle Steve, your son is no pussy, okay? I'm just gonna let you know that. Get some laughs out there. I swear I saw Casey get kicked to the ground. I picked him up and he had a smile on his face. Beyond the blood on his face, he looked like he was in utter bliss. And I knew something was gonna come out of that. And I think he met some friends that appreciate that lifestyle, that mindset. In other words, live life right now, have fun right now, party right now. But then at the same time, don't forget, you gotta wake up tomorrow and love everybody that you party with. And the next morning, we woke up, and I said, Casey, where do you wanna go? And he goes, let's go. And I'm like, hey, I wanna go to the zoo. Of all things to do in San Francisco, we went to the zoo. And we stared at giraffes. We were so beat up from the concert that we stared at giraffes for like a half hour. And we didn't say anything. And that's what was so awesome with Casey is we could have a day where we didn't have to say anything to each other. But it just being next to him felt so damn good. And that's what I love about that guy. Okay? I know I'm not supposed to talk a lot about him, but I got one more story. Okay. So, I was aspiring chef, and I was, you know, here's the deal. When you're aspiring chef, you work for dirt money, but you work for the best restaurants, right? So I got a job at the French Laundry, and I was really proud of it. And, you know, you don't make a lot of money in this and that. And I went to, you know, and their family was very kind and let me stay with them. And I had sold my car in New York City where I was working before, and I came back to California to go get set up at the French Laundry. And my cousin Casey and I went to go look for cars. And when we did, he tried to buy my car at age, what, 22, 23? I don't know anybody at that age that would go out of their way to try to buy a car for somebody. But he tried to give me as much money as that car cost. And I couldn't believe it. And it's not the fact that he was going to give me money, it's the idea that he just had this this love for me, that's how he showed it. You know, he didn't care about monetary value. And he just really loved me, and I always sensed it, because when I came to visit the family, Casey would go out of his way to come spend time with me. And to be honest, one of the reasons I like to come to California is to see my cousin. I live in Minnesota right now with my beautiful family, but he made me feel like things just were always the same. There was no age difference between us. He had a very warm spirit, and that spirit surrounds me. The very day that my cousin left to meet his maker, I didn't know he had passed at that time. That same day, I took a walk. And I don't usually walk to the Mississippi River, but I decided that day I just felt so good outside. And it was a hot day. It was about 90 degrees. And I just felt so good. And I kept walking, and it was exactly at the time that this happened. And I felt this like great spirit over me. And I can't imagine if maybe there was something that washed over me that day that was maybe my cousin just saying, hey, that feeling of Casey came over me, and it did something to me. And I love the friends that he loved. In other words, I love everyone in this room because I know that that's what it's all about, is sharing each other's respect. And I just want you to know you're my friends, and I hope that we have a great time tonight and respect each other. And I really miss you, Casey. You're a great man. Thank you.
Hi, my name's Taylor. I don't know if probably most of you don't know who I am. I was Casey's best friend until we were 12. And he moved up to Folsom. And his family moved in part, I guess, because our neighborhood was going downhill. But Casey and I shared a magical time growing up. It was just the best of childhood. I remember we used to start on opposite ends of our street and ride our big wheels as fast as we could toward each other and crash when we got to each other to impress this girl Elizabeth across the street. Casey was totally the brother I never had. I mean, I will always love Casey. Sleepovers, we had sleepovers all the time, of course, and often on my parents' couch, it was folded out into a bed, you know the bed. And one time we thought it'd be a good idea to fold Casey up. And so it was fine, but then the bed suddenly folded all the way up into the couch, and I couldn't get him out. And Casey was like, "It's not funny anymore, get me out of here." It took me and my friend and my mom, finally we got him out. And that was just a fraction of the stupid shit that we used to do. One time we got a butterfly net stuck on Casey's head. And like my dad, I mean, we were just panicked, and he was like, "I can't breathe." And it was all cutting into his neck, and my dad ran up with a pair of life-saving tin snips, and he cut it off.
You didn't tell me about that, Dan.
When Casey was 12, he got stabbed one of the reasons why they moved, but it was the saddest thing in my life thus far when Casey moved away. We were so close. And we slowly lost touch over the years. Some of the reasons I'm not so proud. One of the things I regret most in my life is losing touch with Casey. One thing that I've always known, but I slowly came to realize, is that Casey was cooler than me. And that's true. I mean, he was in a band. He was so cool, and he heard a Sublime first. He turned me on to Sublime, but really, he always seemed to know what he wanted out of life, and he always had such confidence in himself and his actions, you know. I love you, Casey, so much, and I'll always continue to look up to you. And I hope that my only hope going forward is that maybe our children can share some of the magic memories that we had. Thank you.
So I'm going to put this where everybody can see it. Casey girl. She called me a few days ago and gave me an opportunity to put something together to say for Casey. As you've seen, I haven't taken out any paper. Every single time I sat down and tried to write something, I got stuck on the first one. And I kind of blame social media right now because it's taken the merit out of the word friend. There really isn't a word that I could use to describe what Casey Stephen Marsullo meant to me. He was a man who owed me nothing, and gave me everything. He was a man who changed my life. He's a man who gave me somebody to talk to no matter what kind of random garbage I had to say. He was the guy that when everybody else in the room was going, "Your new drummer's friggin' weird." Casey was the guy that was like, "No man, that's Chang. You don't get it, that's Chang. Chang's Chang, he does his own thing." So my goal up here is to, I kind of want to lighten the mood, but at the same time I don't. Because I joined this band 8 years ago. And I think the reason that I've had the longevity in this band is because Casey was always in my corner. And I know a lot of people who watched me walk up here today got a little nervous because I have a big mouth. And my mouth got even bigger when my Italian friend was standing behind me going, "Do it! Say what you want!" And I'll never, ever forget that guy. He wasn't my friend, he wasn't my brother, he was my left arm. He was always right here. Every stage I've ever been on, every practice space we've ever played in, no matter what, Casey was my left side. And which made me feel like his right side. Now the fact that he's left-handed kind of makes me a little less important. But he played bass like a right-handed man. And a lot of you guys don't understand the function that goes on between a drummer and a bass player. We're the forgotten heroes. Everybody loves the singer. Everybody loves this guy up here. The guy in the back sweating his brains out, and the guy over there plucking a string with his fingers. Everybody's like, "Oh, yeah, who are those guys?" Those are the guys that can be replaced by anybody. But I could look at Casey, and Casey can look at me, and without a single word being uttered, we know exactly what we were saying to one another. And the last 3 years of my life will never, ever be duplicated. To make it a little slightly personal, I hate birthdays. Hate them. I don't want attention, I don't want phone calls, I want a day off, leave me alone. Casey did not let that happen. He's the guy that calls me up and goes, what are you doing? Nothing, playing video games, leave me alone. Shit. Casey's at my front door with a gift card and a pair of earphones. I knew you needed these, buddy. And that was one of the last real opportunities I got to actually spend some time with my friend, my left arm. And he asked me what I wanted to do. I remember saying to him, I gotta pay my rent. So he took me to pay my rent and then insisted that we go out to dinner. And I remember asking him, are you ready for this? You know, it's been this way. I asked him that, I said, are you ready for this? And the first thing he said to me is something that will never, ever leave my mind. Because it's the same thing that I say every single day when I think about Casey is, he goes, it's not even real. It's not even real to me yet. And I'm still waiting for him to come in here and go, you guys are crying, you're a bunch of pussies. I'm waiting for that. Because I have this feeling in the back of my mind that I'm gonna get a chance to tell him everything that happened from that day and forward. And like I said, I didn't write anything down, so I'm droning on like a fool. But I just want everybody in this room to know that in a time in our lives where the word friend has lost a lot of merit, you guys produced the greatest friend I've ever had in my life. And I will never, ever, ever forget how he touched me in a very deep manner and how he made me feel like I was a part of something. He made me feel like I was part of a family that I had never known. And so, nobody's done this yet, so I'm going to do it right now. If you have a glass, if you have a cup, if you have a bottle of water, if you have a pamphlet in your hand, I want to put it up in the sky, and on the count of 3, we're all going to say who we're here for. 1, 2, 3. Thank you.
Tough to follow that one. Well done, Shane. Okay, I got a short story about the time that I think it was the night I earned Casey's respect. Now, we all know Casey was kind to everybody, but he didn't really like you unless he made fun of you. So, I was in a relationship a long time ago before I met these guys. And one night the girl, we had just moved in together, starting to get more serious, and one night she asked me, what are your goals? What are your dreams? And I thought we were just talking, but this was an audition for if it was going to work out or not. So I was honest with her. I said, I've always wanted to, my whole life, go on tour with a band. And you don't get to just do that. A lot of things got to come together. And I played music a long time, never got to do that yet. Well, then she told me her goals, and they were not to go on tour with the band. Needless to say, that relationship didn't work out. I remember having that conversation, and because of Casey and because of these guys, I got to live my dream. And I'll always appreciate that, and it'll always mean a lot to me. There's no funner guys to go on the road with. So, no more fun. So, my first tour with the band, we were in Boise, Idaho, and it had been a week or so everyone was kind of burned out. I think Ross was sick, Josh was being a pussy. I don't know, I think we drove all night from Seattle, but anyway, we fell into this situation where we're in a college party town, no one wanted to go out except me and Casey. So me and him go out on the town, and we had known each other a bit, but he still, hadn't really decided, I think. And we went to this bar, and Casey was always testing me to see if he could hang. So he kept buying 2 shots of Jaeger at a time, see if I could keep up with them. Well, I did, but needless to say, it wasn't pretty. at one point we both go to the bathroom and somebody comes in the bathroom. I don't remember what happened. He started talking trash for some reason. So I threw the plunger at him. And nothing happened beyond that, but what I love about Casey is the next day when it was time to tell all the guys what happened, he blew it up to the most awesome, you guys should have seen what Aaron did last night. Somebody came in and said something and he just threw that dirty plunger right at his face. It made it sound a lot cooler than it actually was. I always appreciated that. The way Casey lived, he lived large and he never had to embellish his stories. He actually did crazy stuff like that. I never knew anybody like that. And he never let the truth get in the way of a good story. So I love that dude, and I'll always miss him. Thanks.
Hi there. My name's Ben. I can actually pinpoint the moment I met Casey Marsullo. We were in Granite Bay at a video premiere, and obviously weren't that entertained. And we found each other. Well, that's where we found each other, out in the parking lot, drooling over a brand new Corvette. The guy let us both sit in it, check out the new heads-up display, but I had no way of realizing at that moment a radical friendship had just begun, and he would become one of the closest people to me for the next 13 years. I got him on his skateboard. He got me back into punk rock. Casey was a friend who always made fun plans without asking you either. He'd call and say, "Hey, I got some tickets, you want to go see Danzig and go, oh. And, he always made the plans, and that's going to be hard just because he created so many memories for all of us. He was so consistent. I know that he knew he could always count on me, and I knew that I could always count on him. He had a special way of always seeming to hone in and know when I didn't have somewhere to go on a holiday. I had never played the orphan before, and I had also never envied the love and bond I had seen in another family like the Marsullos. And those great afternoons and evenings by the pool, Casey'd always give you the smirk, the smile, and the nod. When you knew he was happy, he kind of gave you that. And when I look at the people I surround myself with, and their character, their personalities, and their hearts, I see some similarities. I find that I admire all of my friends for some, if not many, reasons. In Casey's case, it was all those things and more. The way he played, the way he rocked. Casey Marsullo was admirably punk rock. I don't know if I would have planted roots here if I had not met Casey. When considering packing up years ago and moving on, it was his friendship that tipped the scales and kept me from leaving. This crew, this band of brothers, as I have heard, for me and possibly for most, he was the glue. He had somehow tied us all together, and not to mention me, my fiance. Casey did so much for me, and then his incredible bachelor party that Casey threw for himself, which was the highlight of my life. I met my lifelong partner. I never imagined in all my thoughts doing this life without you, brother. I'll keep you alive in my heart and in my actions, and when I'm lucky enough to see you in my dreams. Yeah!
So I thought about writing something down. I'm having my girlfriend taking notes somewhere right down here. I just don't know if there's so much I can say about Casey. I couldn't pinpoint one particular incident, I mean, we known him since I was for more than half my life. He was one of my best friends. And he made my life how it is. I wouldn't know half these people. I wouldn't have the memories that I had if it wasn't for Casey. He's the one who got us all together. He held us together. He was our glue. And I don't know. I hope this speech was a little bit better than Josh's. got into bass because of Casey. Because I don't know if you guys know him. But yeah, I love the guy. I miss him, and he'll always be right here. You know, I think with all of us, he'll be right here.
Yep.
So I came up here for support, but I want to say something real quick, tell you guys a story. Mike, you were there, Josh. It was the first time we went down to LA.
Tonight. Good job, Carl. That was really surprising. That's probably the second nice thing I've ever said to him. Mike, total fail, no surprise. Just kidding. So, I thought about what I was going to say for a long time. Spent a lot of time thinking about it, and the truth and reality of it is there's no combination of words that have been in the English language that could possibly describe in any kind of order the way that I'm feeling, the emotions that I'm going through, the love that I have for him, the love that everyone in this room has for him. Nothing could do it justice. There's just nothing at all. I know that everybody is super broke right now about this, and hats off to the Marsullo family for coming together and helping put this together. Give it up for them. Super big thanks to all the friends and family that are here as well. Give it up for yourselves. You know, Casey loved all you guys, and it means the world to him that you're showing this much love. And to be honest with you, getting through this thing has been more than a challenge, and I don't think it would have even been bearable without all the love that's been literally pouring all over us, non-stop. So thank you so very much. I'd also like to thank my beautiful fiance for doing all these flowers. Give it up for her. So basically, I think I'm just going to tell a few stories like everyone else. First thing, I met Casey, I think it must have been 25 years ago. I saw him skateboarding down Blue Ravine and did a 180 onto the curb and kept on going. I was like, did that just happen? And so, like Bobby was saying earlier, there's really only a few people that were into skateboarding and punk rock. I think there was like 5 of us. In the whole place. 6. That's right, 6. And so we all became real close friends over the years, and obviously we still are today. And it's just amazing. Years went by. I would always see Casey at the punk rock show moshing, and I would see him at the punk rock show when he's 35 years old moshing with a broken knee. I saw him. Well, we went down to San Diego. Was one of our last trips together to see Pennywise, and we were all backstage hanging out, and I was like, hey Casey, we're backstage hanging out, do you want to watch the show from the stage? And Casey's like, no, I'm just going to be in the mosh pit with a broken knee running around in a circle. I was like, you're an idiot. So, after meeting him, of course, doing all the same stuff, skateboarding, skate parks, punk rock, all that, we ended up, I ran into him, Mike Schusting, and Zach Pachenko at a party. And they were talking about starting this band, and I was like, hey, I'm gonna sing for you guys. And they're like, really? And Casey's like, all right, no one else wants to do it, sure, go for it. First practice was a complete disaster, as I'm sure you can imagine. Mike Schusting couldn't play a single instrument. We tried him out at every one, but we wanted him in the band so bad. We wanted Mike Schusting in the band so bad, we let him try every single instrument and failed at all of them. So he was the 6th man in the band. And he's been everywhere with us, coast to coast, everywhere he could go, seen everything, done everything. So thank you, Mike. Sorry, back on your speech. I liked it. So then, this guy, Adam Umberger, after a time, came up to Casey and said, hey, why are you letting Josh sing for you guys? He really sucks. And he was totally right. He was completely, he was right.
It wasn't just Umberger.
I wasn't. You don't always have to be good at things. Some things are just pure ambition. So So Casey didn't care though. He's like, nah, I like Josh. Josh can be my singer. It's cool. So years and years later, you know, here we were. Been in this band for 18 years. And so many good memories. I could be up here all day and all night talking about it. And just the times that Casey had my back blew me away. A lot of times that I get on the microphone, I say some crazy things and it offends a lot of people. And sometimes you might end up getting in a fight afterwards. And I remember the fight that I think everyone in this room has probably heard of, maybe everyone in Sacramento. We fought for like 15 minutes. I got punched in the face. Casey was the first person to have my back, right behind me. After everything was over, we went to Steve and Joanne's with a couple busted lips and a black eye. Had some beers, had some laughs, and just one of the main times Casey had my back. Another time I can remember, we were in Chicago at Bobby Sipe's aunt's house, and I decided that it was time for me to go to the bathroom. I go use the restroom. And I'm sitting there, and the window's cracked open. I hear none other than John Dutra, Ross Stanley, and Mike Schusting talking all kinds of crazy shit about me. Of course I went to Casey. I was like, Casey, these guys are talking all this shit, man. What are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? And he's like, oh, I'll figure it out. And so, Casey, yeah, I was acting like a little girl. Let's just get that out of the way. So I ended up only talking to Casey for the rest of the week, and just it was silent treatment for everyone else. And man, so many good times. Me and Casey, I remember we played in this band. When you play with a band with somebody, as long as we have, you kind of move to another level of being friends, brothers. It's like you're borderline telepathic. I could just look at Casey, like Carl was saying earlier, it's true. We didn't even need to talk about what we were going to do. It would just happen. I could look at him and I'd be like, I think that the next chord should be a G chord. I wouldn't say it, but he would think it, and then I would hear a G chord. We wouldn't give no conversations. Even if we were out of town, we could be any city in America and be separated and find ourselves like, oh, I think I'll probably be back with Casey soon. And we just start thinking about it. I'm sure you were thinking about the same thing because, boom, there he was. And that was just like, that's something that's amazing that would probably never happen again with me. So that was pretty special. And then obviously, at practice, we'd be playing, or even shows, in case he would hit a wrong note, and his big, giant green eyes would look at me first, and wondering, did you notice that? Yes, I noticed that. Every single time. Me and Casey, we're quite competitive with each other. Of course, we're both about the same size, about the both same strength. So obviously, we had several wrestling matches, and it was just no one won. We just always got totally beat up. So then we decided to go a more civil route with our competitiveness, and we decided, well, you know what we're gonna do now? We're just gonna race. We're gonna have foot races up this big hill by Ross's house, and we did it basically annually. And it would be super late at night, super drunk. Someone's running like this, someone's veering off. But I'll tell you this, Casey beat me every single time. You wouldn't believe how fast he is. He's fast. He's fast. He's a little stallion. But there's one race that was in contention, and that was the last race that we had. There was a lot of people watching, which was the first time that we had an audience, and people were placing bets. And so we go. All right, 1, 2, 3, go. We're running. Casey smokes me off the line, just he's gone. And I was like, I'm gonna get him in the long run because this is a big hill, and I've been getting closer every year. This year I got him. I've been training real hard for this. So I'm catching him. I'm getting closer. Now I'm passing him. I was like, oh, you son of a bitch, I got you. He grabs me by the hood and pulls me back. I said, yeah. But I still got like 30 yards to go. So I'm still in this race. I'm going. I'm about to pass him again. He grabs me, spins me back. He's up at the top of the hill. He gives me a big giant hug. And then he throws up everywhere. But he was really proud of himself still. But yeah, he beat me every time. And obviously we never laid down ground rules on the race. We did it just first to the top wins. But
I will tell you this, Casey, and I know you're listening right now. Next time I see your ass, you're going fucking down. Raise your glass, everyone. I don't have one, but it's somewhere around here.
Over there to the right.
Rest in peace, Casey. I love you, brother, and you will always be missed and never forgotten. I love you. Thank you all for being here. Cheers.
This is the largest ADD crowd we've seen in a minute.
Check 1, 2.
Casey would have been. No!
Going round, taking names. Decides who to free and who to blame. Everybody won't be treated all the same. There's a golden ladder reaching down. When a man comes around, the hairs on your arm will stand up. That terror beneath sip, beneath up. Will you partake in that offering cup? Disappear into the ponderous ground. When the man comes around, everybody, something here like earth. 100 million angels singing. All the trees are marching to the big kettle drum. Voices loud and voices loud. Some are born and some are died. That's how I know they come, you will come. And the whirlwind is in the thorn. The virgins are all in their wits. And the whirlwind is in the orange tree. It's hard for me to kick against the bricks. Till Armageddon, no shalom, no shalom. Till the Father's hand will always shake home. Wise man will bow down to the throne. They'll throw their feet at the golden crown. When the man comes around, whoever is unjust, let him be unjust still. Whoever is righteous, let them be righteous still. Whoever is filthy will all be filthy still. Listen to the words that are written down. When the man comes around, here's something here like hers. 100 million angels singing. Multitudes are marching to the big kettle drum. Voices call and voices cry. Some are born and some are died. That's how much old man is keeping them from. And the whirlwind is in the orange tree. The virgins are all trimming their wits. And the whirlwind is in the orange tree. Hard for me to kick against the bricks. It's measured in hundreds of weight in your pound. When the man comes around,
said the sun never shines. I'll close the door. It's been always since I since the day I was born. These real faces in cold dark temples, where the sun never shines. A closed door.
Is everybody having a good night so far? It is noon. It's always a night in United States. Well said, Ross. This song has been a very special song for me and Casey and all the boys, of course. Going to their concerts and getting good enough to play with them, and just it was singing this song with Casey. His wedding, this is not the one that we sing his wedding, but his wedding we sing these guys real hard, so this one I feel is more in the range for Casey. If you know it, you want to sing, go ahead and sing. Circle good.
By the way. Look at the table, just the center.
Used to be the one we looked up to. It seemed like nothing could bring you down. How much a price? It wasn't worth it. Nothing like this should anyway. You're gone. Guess you knew it from the start. In the end, it's all a question of heart. Used to be the one we looked up to. You seem like nothing can bring you down. How much a price? It wasn't worth it. Nothing like this should anyway. You're gone. Guess you knew it from the start. In the end, it's all a question of heart. Hey, let me go. Everything we fought for and everything we heard. Maybe we were just naive, but I still believe in everything we had. Knowing all to know who I am, who I was, who I wanna be. Yeah, who I wanna be. Come on, Ron. Yeah, Ron. Where have you gone? Used to be the one looking for the hero. Isn't far a place, blindly ever forward, never knowing all along. The truth was right here in my own soul. One final jump. Have you gone? Used to be the one we looked up to. It seemed like nothing could bring you down. How much a price? It wasn't worth it. Nothing like this should anyway. You're gone. Guess you knew it from the start. In the end, it's all a question of heart. Used to be the one we looked up to. You seem like nothing can bring you down. How much a price? It wasn't worth it. Nothing like this should anyway. You're gone. Guess you knew it from the start. In the end, it's
Casey 3.
That's right.
We got a Marsullo. Casey the return.
We got you to thank for us together. Thank you guys so much for always being there, and we're always going to be coming by and bothering you as your son and daughter. So thank you guys for giving me my best friend.